Going on, Falcon fan? This your boy Ricondo coming back at you with another video. So today we're going to talk about the Jacksonville Jaguars game that's going to be played Monday against our Atlanta Falcons down in Jacksonville. Before we get to that, please subscribe to the channel. Please hit the like button. Please hit notification bell so you know when I drop another video. And please share my video throughout the YouTube universe. So other Falcon fans and other football fans that come in and learn something about these Atlanta Falcons, since nobody really want to give them any credit, you know, being an NFL professional football team. And that's why guys like me and, you know, other Atlanta Falcons creators create content where our Falcon fans can come in and you know, and share our thoughts about our team. All right, so let's get into the video. So, of course, you know, we actually had, you know, a pretty bad 5 days against the Dallas Cowboys and New England Patriots. The sky was falling. Everybody had written the Atlanta Falcons off. But then if you look around the NFL and you see the parity around the NFL and how each week teams are losing. Look at the New Orleans Saints; they're in a losing slump as well. You just see around the league. Buffalo lost the week prior to the same Jacksonville Jaguars, so then they got lost to the Colts. So I mean that's where we're at. So when we talk about our Atlanta Falcons, like I said, everything is not as bad as it seems, and everything is not as good as it seems. And like last week when we talk about the facts are that the Atlanta Falcons are still in the playoff hunt. They got 7 games left. Everything is still in front of them, so they still have a chance to make the playoffs. Also, a fact when I talked about last week was that, you know, we have a lack of depth. Our talent is not where it needs to be. So that's why we have this inconsistency that we see from the team from week to week. But they're trying to build that consistency. This is the first year for this regime. You got to give these guys a chance and see what they do. And from week to week, we're going to be just seeing the progress that these guys made. Like I said in the last video, I think the last 2 weeks, I don't think the progress is made like we wanted it to be. We do have to factor in the injuries to some of our key players. Of course, we remember Calvin Ridley still out. Cordell Patterson was out. Hayden Hurst has been out. Jalen Hawkins been out. We still haven't seen Kendall Sheffield all year. Matt Gunno hasn't came back all year. So it's a lot of, you know, a lot of players that at the beginning of the year that pretty sure that we didn't think was going to play a big role. Of course, we know that's why you build a depth. So when somebody do go down, like a Calvin Ridley, we expect the other guys in the receiving room to stand up and make plays. And so far, it's been too far in between for those guys to make plays consistent, especially from an offensive standpoint. See the defense going in different directions, starting to play better, but from an offensive standpoint, that's where our struggles have really been. So that's where we're at. All right, so you guys know how I do. I go offense, I go defense, and then I go special teams. We're going to start off with the offense first. So from an offensive standpoint, nothing's changed since we talked about, you know, the last couple of weeks. We got to start to run the ball. We got to be balanced. We all know Arthur Smith wanted to be physical. He wanted to be a physical football team. He wanted to change the culture around his team, make them tough, make them more physical. We have to start to run the ball. He said he was going to look at everything during this mini bye that we had because we played on Thursday night. It's going to be interesting to see, did he make any changes on the offensive line? Did he change up some of his running games? Did we go with a different running back? You know, like putting Cordell Patterson in more. Wayne Gallman, we're going to see if the Cordell Patterson going to be able to go. All these things we need to see about this run game. Either way, we definitely got to make sure the running game starts to pick up like it needs to pick up and get better. We got to create that more balanced offense. We can't let Matt Ryan go back and pass the ball 40 times. That's not a recipe for success, especially for Arthur Smith offense. Of course, we think about the last regime. We had Dirk Cutter here. He wanted to throw a ball all around, more explosive plays with the wide receivers and stuff like this. This scheme is more built around the tight ends, multiple tight end sets, running the ball, being physical, using that run game for play action, hitting the intermediate passes, and hitting deep shots every now and then. That's how this offense is supposed to be set up. But we can't run the ball. It kind of makes us try to have to figure out, like I was saying in last week, is that we're being every play is being too hard for us to be able to make something happen. We got to get some easy plays going. I thought when Cordero Patterson was there, I thought they used him very well. Use his multiple ways to use him in the offense, running back, wide receiver. He could do so many things. I think, of course, Calvin Ridley being out is kind of hurting us a little bit. Now we have Hayden Hurst out as well, so let's put a lot of onus on the rookie Kyle Pitts. So that's a big thing. But for one thing, we got to be able to run the ball, and I think if we start to be able to run the ball, I think that's going to bode well for us. We got to be able to get some running plays going. We got to be able to keep that balance. If we can get more to a 60-40 pass run, that'd be great. And of course, everybody want to be 50-50, but that's probably not realistic. But we get to the 60-40, 65-35 pass run percentage, that'd be great for our team. So we got to keep running the ball. I don't think he should do away with the run, even though it's not working. You got to find a way to run the ball. Everybody want him to start taking more shots down the field, stuff like that. But all you're doing is just putting your quarterback in harm. And then the team know if you're not going to pass, they know you can't run. They're just going to pin the ears back and start coming at the quarterback. So we got to be able to run the ball. The second point on offense is third down. We've been horrible these last 2 weeks on third down. If you go back to the Saint game, I think we played very well on third down, and we were successful in that game. Everybody knows in the NFL, third down is one of the most important downs in NFL. And if we can't do anything on third down, then you're gonna get with the results that you've been getting the last 2 games, and that's what we got. It's been pretty bad on third down. I think we got like 2 third downs in the last 26 something drives. It's been bad. Just look at it like this: we got 3 points in the last 2 games, so that can kind of give you an idea of what we've been doing on third downs. So we can't even talk about the red zone because we didn't have a chance to get in the red zone, even though we did get in the red zone a couple times in the Dallas game, got a couple times in the New England games, but we still only came away with 3 points total in those 2 games combined. So third down is going to be very important. Arthur Smith had time to look at his schemes, see other ways that he could try to fix the third downs. The biggest thing is the short third one, 4th and 1. We got to be able to capitalize on those plays. Of course, you want to be able to run the ball and be physical. Like I said, I agree with him to go for it on 4th and 1. The play call was to run the ball. I agree with that. We got to be physical. We can't get 1 yard. Everybody know. Of course, everybody know you want to run it. Sometimes you got to trick the defense. I understand that. They get paid the same way our guys get paid to play. But sometimes you just got to say, I know you know I'm going to do this, but you can't stop it. That's the way we need to be. Guarantee you, if it was Tennessee and Derrick Henry was back there, everybody be saying, yeah, get the ball to Derrick Henry. We know we don't have that kind of player here, but we got to start to create that physicality for the Atlanta Falcons. And so that's basically what I'm saying. We need to start creating that physicality for our Atlanta Falcons. That's what we need to do. All right, and then the last point on offense, that I want to talk about is our creativity. So, of course, like I said, we've been struggling these last 2 games on our creativity, but for some way, somehow, it's got to be a way to start to get these receivers more involved in the game. We got to get our offensive line to start to hold up so we can actually take some of those deep shots that I talked about, the coincide with the play action and the run game. So the creativity is going to be important. Everybody was saying that Arthur Smith is a brilliant offensive mind. Not saying that he's not, but he have to figure a way to get these guys to start to put points on the board. The defense been playing, best they can these last couple of weeks, but the offense is not helping out, and that's what I think. So the creativity that Arthur Smith come with this week is going to be important. No matter who the opponent is, we got to start to show some more creativity, more plays for Kyle Pitts, more plays for some of our weapons that we have, Russell Gage, Olamide Zaccheaus. See if we can start to implement Frank Darby a little bit. So anything like that, we can start to get some creativity from Arthur Smith to start generating some points. That's what I got for offense. Let's go ahead and move on to the defense. From a defensive standpoint, just like the offense, we got to be able to stop the run. Stop the run. Jacksonville, we know they had the young guy that showed out last year, that came off, had a great season last year. He's going to be ground and pound again. They want to be able to create run pass option with Trevor Lawrence and run the ball. So we got to be able to start the run. I see that our depth on the defensive line is increasing. It's getting better. Of course, with Anthony Rush, Mike Pennell, all those guys coming in, that's definitely helping our defensive line depth out. So we got to be able to start to stop the run, and if we can do that, we can make these guys one-dimensional. Like because that's where if you think about it, that's what's happening to our offense on the Atlanta Falcons. They're making us one-dimensional. We can't run the ball. You see what that does to our offense. So if we can stop the run and make these guys one-dimensional, we can get them into pass situations, 3rd and longs, and we can start to try to generate some kind of pass rush pressures and things like that. So we got to be able to stop the run. The second thing is pass rush. Of course, our pass rush pretty much been non-existent this year. I think we've been more successful on pressures. You see DPs called up 3 pressures. We actually got 3 sacks last game we played against New England Patriots, but all those came from pressures. None of those came from our pass rushers that we got. They got to be starting to beat 101. So we got to start to see, can we get these guys to start against the pass rushers. We know Devontae Fowler Jr. just came back. Okundeji still a rookie, he's still learning, he's still fresh. But we got to start to create some pass rush with our pass rushers. Grady Jarrett, he talked about he wanted to get 10 sacks this year. We see, can he start the clicking here, get some pressure up the middle, especially when we got some bigger bodies in the middle. Maybe that'll be able to let free Grady up a little bit to start to get after the quarterback as well. So we got to start getting pass rush without the pressures, because everybody know when you pressure, when you create pressures, you're putting your secondary in harm's way by those pressures. Because if you don't get home with the pressures, now your secondary is going to be left out to dry. So that's why when Dean Pease are calling these pressures, he call them, every now and then, trying to catch them off guard and stuff like that, because you don't want to be too predictable with your pressures. But luckily last week, the pressures worked very well from our defense, and we was able to get home on those pressures. But we don't want to do the pressures as much. If we could play coverage and let our pass rushers start to generate pass rush that way, that would be spectacular. So I think that's one of the biggest things that we can do if we can actually start to create pass rush. And then the third thing on defense is containment. Trevor Lawrence, if you look at his college tape, he's very elusive. He likes to run the ball. He's very athletic. So, of course, you know, our track record with running quarterbacks this year has not been that great so far, and it's because of our containment. So we got to be able to start to contain Trevor Lawrence. Stay in your pass rush lanes. Don't get too eager. And the biggest thing that we've been hearing from this coaching staff is just do what you're coached to do. Don't do nothing more than that. If you do what you're coached to do, that means so when you stand in your pass lanes, you can keep that containment like you're supposed to, and then let the person who's supposed to make the play. You just do your job. It sounds so cliche. Of course, you know, the Patriots kind of claim that mantra with their team, you know, their dynasty that they had with Bill Belichick, saying just do your job. But really, that's what these guys need to do. We talked about the talent level. So when you try to go out, you know, and try to make something spectacular, and when you're not as a talented player as some of these other guys, you're gonna make mistakes. So just do your job. Do what you're coached to do. Stay in containment. Stay in your rush lanes, and you can keep Trevor Lawrence in the pocket. We don't want to let him get out and start scrambling like he's been doing. All right. So that's offense and defense, and let's go to special teams. So I think one of our biggest issues this season with the Atlanta Falcons is all three phases. All right. Of course, everybody knows, I'll talk about offense, they talk about defense, but people seem to lead by special teams. But special team is one of the most important aspects to the game as well. One of the biggest keys, I think, is field position. Always start off with field position. And if you look at the New England Patriot game, I think our first 3 or 4 drives, we was peeing deep in our own on our own side of the ball or the field, which is hard for a coach to call plays because you're so backed up in your end zone. You don't want to make a mistake, call the wrong plays, get a sack, you know, get a turnover or anything like that. So you're gonna be a little bit more conservative with the field position. I mean, we were starting like at the 10-yard line, 15-yard line, things like that. And it's harder to call the plays you want to call because you're so backed up. So field position is very important for us from an offensive standpoint and a defensive standpoint. But that field position, like I said, is all three phases, because even though the defense get off the field, if they let the offense get to the 45 or the 50, that's going to flip the field. And that's good football for the offense. Even though the opposing offense didn't score, they was able to flip the field for their defense to get the ball back to the offense in better field position. So, like I said, it all works hand in hand. So field position is very important. So we got to be able to work together in unison as an offense, defense, and special teams to create that better field position, especially with returns, catch the ball. If you catch the ball without letting it get if you can catch it on the 15 so it won't roll back to the 5, maybe we need to start to do that. We got to be able to create some returns with our returners. We got to be able to do that as well. So field position is very important. That's what we need to see. The second thing is explosive plays on special team. I talked about this before, another key that we had earlier in one of our games, but we have to start to see some explosive plays. I think we only had really one explosive play. We had a blocked field goal, which was really important because it helped us win that game in Miami. But other than that play, I really can't see any other spectacular standout plays on special teams that we had this year. We've seen some bad plays. We've seen a block punt. We've seen some kickoff returns back for a touchdown. Things that happen throughout season, so that's not anything that saying that every week we have issue with special teams, but at the same time, we got to start to create some explosive plays for our special teams. And then last but not least, we're breaking in a new punter again. It's our third punter. So we're going to see what Marstead can do. I don't know if when Colquitt comes back off the COVID list, if he's going to be our punter again. But we got another veteran punter in who's been in the lead a long time. So we should be able to hit the ground running. Hopefully, once he pick up what the coverage is time to do, where you're kicking it. Maybe he can get some of those coffin corner kicks because he's been in the game for a long time, and we can kind of flip the field position on our favor in this game against Jacksonville. So just breaking in a new punter, breaking in and making sure that we are all on the same page with our special teams. But at the end of the day, special teams have to work in unison with the offense and the defense. And once I think we can play a complete game as the Atlanta Falcons, we can see where this team really is. I don't think we played a complete game this year. We have won 4 games. Like I said, I talked about our talent, I talked about our depth, but at the end of the day, the Atlanta Falcons are still in the playoff hunt in November going into December. And as a team, that's all you can ask for. You control your own destiny. You don't have to worry about any other teams. You can just win the games that you need to win, and you're there. You're right where you need to be. Everything's still in front of us. We got another game against the Saints. We got another game against the Panthers. We got another game against the Bucs. We got Detroit on our schedule. We got, of course, we got Jacksonville on our schedule, San Francisco, and Buffalo. So that's the games that we have. Like I said, I think we might be favored in maybe 2 of those games, but that doesn't matter. I think the parity in the league right now is at its highest that I've seen in a while. Which means that on any given Sunday, a team can come in and get beat. And the Falcons got to know that. It's all about confidence. They get paid to play just like we get paid to play. So let's just see what happens. I believe in this team, and I believe we're going to be able to be right in the mix for the rest of this year. But first things first, we got to get this win in Jacksonville this Sunday and get that bad taste of the last 2 games out of our mouth, and then we can go from there. All right, we get some guys back healthy. See where Calvin Ridley at, see where his head at, see if he's going to ever come back this season. We just have to find out and see what happens with that. But guys, you let me know what you think about my keys, what I think it's going to take for us to get this win in Jacksonville this weekend. Hey, this is a game we have to win. I don't say must win games, anything like that, but we need to win this game. We need to get the bad taste out of our mouth. So let's just leave it at that. It's your boy Ricondo, a real Falcon fan. Peace.